is an energy reading for Sylph of Fire. So normally I surround the person that I'm reading in the light twice. For you, I'm going to do it once during the reading, like I always do. But the reason that I normally do it twice, actually not with an email reading, but for a video reading, is because I get the code name. And so it's almost a way of kind of bringing the guide through. Um, and that's really all the picture is even used for, really. It's just to kind of connect with the person's guide. So in your case, though, before I ever even brought up your picture, your guide was just here. So, um, and wanted some very specific things brought out, things that I don't normally have out. So I have my rose quartz, one of them. I bring these out a lot. The crystals, I have one other crystal here that I never remember the name of this one. I'm gonna have to figure out what the name of it is when I go back to that shop. Um, but that wasn't even what was really important. What really stood out was I have here a black candle that I'm going to light in a second, and then I have incense. I don't know what kind this is. It was the only kind I have left because smoke, it started bothering me like over a year ago, and so I never even use it anymore. I had to find the incense burner, and now I'm borrowing my mother-in-law's. That's how little I use it. So I wasn't expecting that. But oh yeah, and the other thing here is I have my feather. So incense and the candle and the feather, you can see there's a lot of air signs coming in. And so what happened was I was actually building my circle. I was building the sacred space. And normally either I just visualize energy from like my own heart chakra making the space, or I take it from like universal space. And then in this case, I saw something very specific. There was a mountain, but it looked like it was very black, like like a volcano, like a volcano that is covered in this hard ash. And so it almost looks like a very black mountain. And then I'm seeing this lava coming down, and the whole sphere around myself this time, it just looked like lava. And then the other odd thing was that I only ever go clockwise. And in this case, this time when I was building the circle, I went in both directions, which was interesting. And that to me, sometimes that has to do with clearing something. It can also mean balancing something out. A lot of the time it means that you're cleansing a space, you're clearing a space. And so you have this counter clockwise and going back and forth this way. A lot of times when you're trying to like clear out a chakra, a lot of times the chakra will automatically be spinning one way and the other way because it's trying to clean itself off. Um, and then I was seeing this eagle, so there were a lot of air signs coming in, and it felt like a guy that was very male. When I saw this volcanic mountain, it just felt very, very male, like a male presence. And then I kept getting the word sylph, and I knew it was some type of fairy. And I do work with fairies, but I don't call on the specific types a lot. I normally just, say fairies. And I haven't really worked with them in a while because I don't really have a space here to do like offerings or something. And it's normally way too cold outside, and there's just a million people here even in the summer. So there's not really a space even outside to really do offerings and such. But even when I was into it, I never studied the specific types, and I had to look this up. And of course, I mean, what else is this going to be, right? So I looked up Sylph, and it says Sylph, also called Sylphid, is a mythical spirit of the air. So obviously, um, and then it's saying here the term originates in the 16th century works of Paracelsus, who describes sylphs as invisible beings of the air, his elementals of air. And that makes sense actually. I can see why you had me finish reading that. I felt to all of a sudden, but I was getting not just a fairy energy, but it felt like an elemental energy, kind of like where he was the fire, he was the volcano, but especially the fire, and the ash, the fire and the ash. Now, there was another thing coming in. There was an energy that felt very much like a male angel or a male archangel. Again, a very male energy, but there was like big wings and it felt like an angel. But there was this feeling with it, like this is actually the same guide and he is this sylph, but there was almost like really he is the sylph. But I almost feel like who would really think of a sylph, who would like, he's going to come in a way that is more like what you would think of. He's going to come in a way that's like easy for you to get and something that he symbolizes still, because the wings, angel is still, it's very air. um And I keep getting this word like dominant or dominance. He has like a dominant energy very much, but not in a negative way. Just a very masculine energy. That's what this guide feels like. Okay, so and I have my fairy cards here in case, since obviously he is an elemental fairy type. So I'm going to go ahead and light these. So the candle was specifically black because he was coming in with this ash, this black ash color. And as I'm saying that, I'm getting this feeling of letting things go, because things like ash, things like death, they represent letting things go. So spiritually letting go, and then even allowing for new growth, allowing for awakening. It smells nice. The other feeling that I get is that these types of things, candles, incense, that these are ways that you can call him. But I also get a feeling that you already like incense, you're already using it. Or that's something that you already like or prefer using, especially since, I mean, that has to be kind of about you, because it's not about me. I never really use incense. I'm probably going to put this out in a minute. Okay. And okay, all right. And the eagle feather. So another thing that he's reminding me of was I was kind of getting a feeling of an eagle totem, or that you have an eagle around you as well. But this somehow is connected to this guide. It's almost like his totem in a way, that I feel like he's wanting to introduce to you. Okay, am I supposed to read this totem or just a little? Yeah, I'm gonna read it. Okay. All right, here we go. So when an eagle appears, you are on notice to be courageous and stretch your limits. Do not accept the status quo, but rather reach higher and become more than you believe you are capable of. Look at things from a new, higher perspective. Be patient with the present. Know that the future holds possibilities that you may not yet be able to see. You are about to take flight. Okay, that's a pretty nice message. All right, so I I don't feel like I need to surround you in the light. I also get this feeling like you surround yourself in light all the time. Like that's I do feel like you have spiritual practices that you maintain that you tend to do a lot, and so your space is already pretty clear. Um, and not that there's nothing that you would need to clear. I'm sure a lot of my clients cleared their space, but I do feel, especially like your area is, how do I say it? Uh, I feel like it's protected. I feel like it's safe. There is something around you that's very much protecting you. So if there is something negative ever that's coming in, yeah, because I know even in your email you mentioned something kind of negative around you, but hmm. Okay, you know what? No, I'm getting this feeling from this guide because even with this reading, he was like, "No, wait." And I told you I couldn't do the reading right away for you. And so then I had to wait until the weekend, and I ended up having to wait on some of my other readings until the weekend too, anyway, just because of things going on with me. But yours I would have done sooner. And it was the guide saying to wait, but honestly I almost feel like that is something he would do. I almost feel like this is almost his personality a little bit. um Maybe even this is sometimes a bit of a fairy personality. Fairies do tend to have people work for things, like leave an offering and I'll do this for you, you know. Um, and that's not a negative thing. That is expecting you to be an equal. I'm going to do my thing, and you're an equal to me, and you're going to do your thing over there, and almost will meet halfway. So they kind of expect you to work for it. So I'm also getting the feeling like if you have this guide and this kind of guide that would expect you to almost work for what you get, work for privileges kind of, then or work for not really privileges, but work for advancement, work for advancing. And he especially, no, only, he's talking about spiritual advancement. So not really your life, almost that will work itself out. That works itself out as you advance spiritually, as you focus on the spiritual things. I also feel like this reading is mainly, mostly to connect you with your guide in the way that he is, because that's again something that keeps coming through. He has been talking to you, and you'll recognize him. You'll recognize his energy and the feel of it, but he's been coming to you differently than he's coming to me. But he keeps stressing, he keeps saying that this is what he is. He is this Sylph um, elemental energy, but also that he's very strong. Um, he's dominant, and he's of the air. He's an air. Uh, he's a Sylph. It's like in a way he is the air, you know. he's taking that on. This guy does have more of a form, though. He has more of a humanoid form. So he's also fairy. He's not specifically air, like it's not like he's just pure fire or something. So he's not a pure elemental. He has like a form. He has still a kind of humanoid form that he will take. But even this bird form, I'll see him taking sometimes, and the wings. But a lot of times he's coming with this almost humanoid appearance and these wings and black. I don't feel like he's necessarily always come to you with black either, or that he could even come to you with various colors, but black, this ash, it's not just something that is him, like is his essence, kind of this ash and this flame, but also an energy that he wants to take on right now. And this is why he was having me walk in a counterclockwise circle. There's this energy of clearing something, clearing your space, clearing yourself. Okay, but right, okay, but coming, okay, this thing in the email though, he's not really talking about that, what you were saying with these things around you. And so I got to get back to that because I didn't finish my sentence before. This is coming through so fast. Can you tell? So, but he has this personality, like when he wants to speak, he'll speak. And so if you're not speaking like when he wants to speak, then almost what are you going to be speaking to, you know? So it's not, I don't even feel like it's necessarily negative entities or something, probably just thought forms. And so he's almost saying to detach, and that you can also figure out things for yourself. So he has kind of this energy like you don't have to come to him constantly. So because you do have a spiritual practice, but you have that on your own, and you can maintain things without him helping you. You know, when he wants to help you, then he's there. He is constantly there. But I don't know, it's like you don't need his advice or his input all the time or his aid all the time. He doesn't have to help you all the time. Like you've got this mastered. Hmm. Now, but he's also saying that some of this is a loneliness thing. Like almost like there aren't a lot of people like you, or people that you can really, really open up with. But he's saying that you have to be on your own right now, and kind of, and he's saying get that covered, or get solid in that, and where you want to be, um, in your own mind, in your own head, and thinking clearly. And again, he's saying to detach, to let go, and be okay only having yourself. And once you're okay with only having yourself, then the exact energies that will really, really relate to you, that you'll really relate with, and be be part of and close with, that'll happen once you're close with yourself and you're not closing off to yourself. And so you're not running from really just being okay with I am who I am, I'm here sitting in this chair or whatever, wherever you are. I'm here laying down. I'm here standing up. I'm doing this now. I'm doing that now. So he's also coming in with a feeling of being present, because he's saying sometimes, like, if your mind is running off, this is actually to get away from yourself. He's also saying that everybody has that, or that most everyone has that. But he's saying that they don't realize that it isn't just a thing of getting out of the present and not focusing on the present. It's actually a way to replace yourself, he's saying. So it's a way to run from yourself. I'm really glad that I put these readings on here publicly, because that could definitely help some other people as well. What he's saying, even though it's for a specific person. And the reason I'm actually saying that is because he's actually saying it to me, that this could help multiple people, what he's saying, but he is still specifically talking to you. So even with him, he's saying that he isn't a replacement for yourself. And so sometimes he doesn't want to talk to you. He's saying that sometimes what you need is silence and nothing in your head. And he's saying in the silence is yourself. And he's saying that he's the silence too, that we're all the silence, but he's saying that you're not going to feel a connection within that silence until you're okay with it, until you're not perceiving it as empty. So again, he's saying to have no thoughts in your head. And I almost feel like this is homework, to work on being very mindful of everything you're doing. I'm in the present moment. But again, he's saying to remember that he's saying it's not about, like, this, like, now teaching. Be in the now, because, like, you don't want to project something on the future or be in the past or whatever, or live in the moment. He's saying it's more about get comfortable with who you are and your power, he's saying, and accepting yourself and integrating yourself fully, like with your conscious mind, and not worrying about, he's saying, what anyone else thinks. But I also get a feeling he's also coming in with a feeling that you have that down. Is definitely there's definitely a lot of you that don't care what people think. But he's just saying stillness. He's saying stillness is another name that he could have called this reading. It's another name that he could have called himself, because the code name for this reading was more about him. It was more his name, Sylph of Fire, than something about you or your name. So he's just saying that again. He's saying that that's the main message of the reading, that he isn't a replacement for yourself, but that he is there with you, but that he's helping you to connect to yourself. And he's saying that he's in the silence, but that he'll speak when he wants to. And that silence doesn't have to speak to participate with you. But he's also saying that if nothing were there, if you were literally the only thing in existence, which isn't possible, but as this analogy, he's saying, pretend that you're the only one in existence and it doesn't matter to you. That's not what matters. And so you literally saying get nothing from an outside source. He's saying, it's all you, baby. That's what he's saying. I feel like he's reaching into my stomach, my solar plexus. And he's showing me this ball, so obviously that probably symbolizes the chakra. But I feel like there's something almost disturbed in there, some kind of disturbed energy. And this is a childhood energy. It almost feels like you had to be quiet, is what it feels like, or like you couldn't speak your mind openly in some ways. And there's almost this feeling like take it, like like just almost in a way detach from what is happening around you or being said to you, like you can express something. But he is also suggesting that this in a way helped you connect to him because it gave you some of your determination and your fire. But he is saying that you can let go of this need to push yourself onto something else. Or I feel like what he's saying, because like his energy is very dominant, and in some ways this really reflects who you are. Like in some ways you really relate to one another. This guide, like you have some similarities. So I feel like that's so in your energy already, this kind of dominant energy, and in a way almost an overwhelming or overpowering energy, but he doesn't mean in a negative way. And so it's like when you just focus, that will just unleash and create everything that you want. And so it's very easily, he's saying, for you to actually create something. So he's saying to let go of trying, because he's saying that you don't need to try. When you're just who you are and you are silent with yourself, then there's going to be this change and this breakthrough that I feel like it's happening, but I also feel like he's encouraging more of it. He wants to see more of it. And it's 3:33 p.m. here, so that's my yes numerology that I just glanced at over there. So this breakthrough thing, oh yeah, no, he's reminding me now. He's bringing me back to this eagle description. I feel like I'm supposed to read this again, and then that'll be our time. Time is up after that, so because we're to the 30 minutes. So, okay. When an eagle appears, you are on notice to be courageous and stretch your limits. Do not accept the status quo, but rather reach higher and become more than you believe you are capable of. Look at things from a new, higher perspective. Be patient with the present. Know that the future holds possibilities that you may not yet be able to see. You are about to take flight. So he's saying this to you again. Okay. So namaste, that's it. He's kind of ending it in a very direct way. So I'm going to go ahead and end it my way, though. Thank you very much. I normally say the code name here, but Sylph of Fire, that is more referring to your guide, but you know who you are. Okay, so thank you very much for allowing me to do this reading for you. And I really hope that this blesses you. Thank you.